name is Nicklas Andersson and I work as the bank savings economist with the goal of inspiring people towards financial empowerment. Today I will be conducting this interview with our CEO, Rikard Josefsson, on Avanza performance in 2020 and 2021 and beyond. Rikard, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Nicklas.
Avanza had a fantastic 2020 despite the pandemic. Can you guide us through the year?
Well, it was a very interesting year because we came into 2020 with a 2019 that was the best year ever for Avanza. And we saw that in January, February, we had very strong growth. And then the pandemic hit us in Sweden, at least in the beginning of March. And then volatility came into the market. Volumes were increasingly rapidly growing. Just in a few days, we doubled the trading volumes. Customers were coming in. A lot of people started working from home. We had about 70% of our people working from home. So it was a total shift in how we conducted our business in a matter of days. And at the same time, the pandemic made a lot of the customers and a lot of people a bit scared. People were thinking, losing my job, how is my savings allocated? I have a little bit more time because you cannot go to restaurants, to parties and not travel and so forth. And of course, that has in some way gave us a extra tailwind in our growth. And from that day, I would say in beginning of March, it's been doubling the volumes. We have, I think it's almost 300,000 new clients entering the platform. We reached a goal of 1 million clients in January, I think it was. We had net inflows of 17 billions. And last year we had 32.6, and we were very proud of that because that was the best year ever. So it's been a fantastic year for us, and all due to fantastic employees who has done magical work in very testing times. And we also been able to be there for our clients because we have answered the phones, we have answered the emails, we have more pods, more blogs. We increased that a lot, and we saw the consumption of pods and blogs went up like 100%. So we have really been there for our clients. And at the end of the year, we got the recognition for that. We were voted the most satisfied saving clients for the 11th year in a row. We were valued in May as the most admired company within, or respected company within the financial industry, and the 6th most respected company in Sweden. And we ended the year by, for the 3rd year in a row, got the award Bank of the Year. And that is, I think in the beginning of the 90s, some bank got it 3 years in a row. So that's also fantastic. It's a fantastic, so to speak, stamp from the outside world that we have done a good job this year. So I'm very proud of the team, and I'm very proud that we've been there for our clients.
The theme for this interview is ramping up to the new normal. We had huge volume increases in Q1 of 2020, but in Q2, Q3 and Q4 we have attracted a lot of customers as well that we will see being on our platform in 2021. Is this the new normal? Will we be able to sustain those exceptionally high levels of activity going forward?
Well, we don't sustain the activity. That's our clients who stands for the activity. But of course, one way of answering that question is, of course, given how many more clients we have in our customer base, of course, the new normal for Avanza is higher than it was pre-pandemic, so to speak. So we have lifted the bar for those that performance. I'm absolutely convinced in that. And especially if you look, for example, at the net inflows to the savings market, we are gaining around 20% on a rolling 12-month basis. That means that 1 out of 5 new kronas into the Swedish savings market comes to the Avanza platform. And we have increased our market share to 5.4%. That means that 94.6% is outside Avanza, so we still see tremendous growth opportunities going forward. So that has been a fantastic year.
So a lot of money coming in, raising our market share, coming in at 1/5 of every savings crown in Sweden, coming into Avanza, gaining the market share for 5.4% today, going forward towards our goal of 7% in 2025.
Yes.
High activity on the savings market, but what's the status on the competitor side?
Well, I think the competition is there. It's always a fierce competition, but at the same time, looking at, for example, market shares on the Stockholm exchange, we are the only one who really gain a market share. We had almost 200,000 more clients generated brokerage income during the year, or 180,000 or something like that. So I think that we have been, in my opinion, in the industry in Sweden, the absolute winner during 2020. But that's not just by accident or by luck. That's many, many years of hard work that has created the UX experience, the customer experience that we have, the variety of investment opportunity, the way we are there for our clients. So I think we are getting a bit paid for many years of hard work.
Is this one of the reasons why you have increased the cost guidance for investments for 2021?
Absolutely. We have a lot of confidence in what we are doing. Our clients have a lot of confidence in us. But the trust you get from the clients, you have to earn that in every login, every day, every phone conversation with the client. And that means that our clients expect us to develop, they expect us to improve. Looking at our business planning process the last couple of months, we basically asked ourselves, okay, we are very much bigger. We have proved our scalability, in my opinion. And that means that, of course, we need a little bit more back office people, a little bit more customer service, a little bit more people in private banking. We need a little bit more people. We're changing our back office system 2021. That will consume some resources. And then looking at what we will do for our clients, of course, we need to improve the UX experience. We need to have new product, new services, and a lot of things in the customer experience area. And then we concluded we need a bit more people. And what's interesting with Avanza is that we don't use consultancies. We do everything with our own staff. And that means that if we're going to improve our offering and improve our services, we need a bit more people. And over 70% of our cost is staff related. So looking at this business plan, I went to the board and I said that, hey, I could easily maneuver this company at around 9 to 12% cost increase. But if we increase 20 million more than our guidance, we will be able to add this talent to the company. And the effects will be that our clients will love us even more. And that will, of course, be good for our net inflows, new clients. So we took the long-term decision to invest in the future. That we always do in Avanza. And that's absolutely a wise decision. Then I have to add that sometimes we always talk about cost as a problem, but cost is actually what's making you do good things for your client. And there's good cost and bad cost, and I'm absolutely very, very assured that the money we spend on Avanza is wisely spent, because there are good costs, there are bad costs. I can promise you, Nicklas, that all the costs that we have in this company are actually good costs that helps us develop for the future. And it's also, you can take a little bit of a historical view on it, that when I started in the company in 2017, my first meetings with investors was a lot of discussion about your income is growing less than your cost. Why don't you lower your cost, and how will you fix this? And then we basically said that we believe that we are doing the right thing, and we believe that the cost will grow less than the income. It did that in 2019, and tremendously so this year. So I personally believe that we have stick to our plan of investing magical people that do magical things for our customers has proven right in 2019 and exceptionally right in 2020.
We've gone through a harsh time in the world during this pandemic, even though we've been a relative winner. What is the big difference in the way we navigated the terrain this time in respect for the global financial crisis back in 07-08?
I think it is, when I speak to my chairman, Mr. Sven Hagström, he says that I was not in the company then, I was working at a competitor. He basically says that 2008 Avanza had a plan to increase number of employees to invest in the future. They postponed those plans because everybody was so nervous for the financial crisis. And he told me that that's the only decision he regrets, that they didn't push the button and go forward their investment plans back 12 years ago. And that mistake, he said he will never do it again. But at the same time, the board is very cautious about cost. They want to know that when we increase our costs, like we're going to do in 2021, what are we investing in, how will it come out, and so forth. And so I would say we are very cost aware company in many ways.
And what we're investing in is very interesting. So let's talk about growth. In which areas do you see the biggest growth potential ahead, and which areas will you focus on primarily?
One obvious thing in 2021 is, of course, pension. Our pension company is growing fastest in the industry right now. So we are on a good path in the pension company, and then you get the new legislation where you can move pension for not more than 600 crowns. So of course, moving pensions from other pension companies to Avanza will be something we will really go for, especially in the first 6 months of the year, because the legislation kicks in 1st of April. But then, of course, I think that just savings in itself is a focus area when it comes to product variety, helping our customer with inspiration. We have the whole sustainability area. We have done a lot of things, but we have a lot of more things to do. And also, it's so obvious now for people that you need to save, because house prices are up, apartments are up in pricing. You need 15% down payment to be able to get a mortgage loan. You have the pension industry again, where people now are realizing the social welfare system in Sweden is not as good as it was 20, 30 years ago. So if you're going to have a nice retirement, you have to make sure that the cost for your pensions are not too high. Especially young people could gain over 1 million in just choosing a pension provider with no capital fees. We don't have capital fees. We have the best variety for investment. So there's a lot of things talking for us right now when it comes to trends in society. And when I meet young people, I would say that the young people don't bet on inflation as getting rid of their debt. They understand that if it's to be, it's up to me. So I would say that savings are a bit in fashion, and I never during a year heard so many people talking about funds, investments, stocks and so forth. And you also seen examples of that in Avanza using our client base. We added our first actively managed fund, Avanza World Tech by TIN, been a fantastic success. And then we did Avanza Small Cap by Skoglund, and that has also been a fantastic response. So I think the stars are they're right for Avanza right now. But at the same time, after sunshine, it comes rain or so forth, and we will have lower volatility, lower turnover, but we will perform at a higher level, and we will keep on investing in better things for our clients.
So after sun there will be rain, and after rain there will be sunshine once again, and during those rainy periods we will actually invest for the future, which we've done this year also during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
The regulatory change next year for moving pensions, the capping of 600 Swedish crowns for moving your pensions. How big of a growth driver is this in 2021, and how much of it is beyond 2021? How should investors think about this potential?
I think you should, as I always say, you should see it as a long-term potential for Avanza. We invest in long-term things. Stabelo was a long-term investor and is picking up quite nicely now. It will not be opening the floodgates 1st of April, because pensions is still a bit of boring for a lot of customers. They think that I will not retire in many years. I really don't want to spend time looking at my pensions. But at the same time, I think the debate will come up now about pension, retirement, savings. And so step by step, I think will be increased interest. And of course, we will encourage our customers to look over their pensions. Can they move it? What will happen when you retire? When do you want to retire? How does that look for you? So I believe step by step it will be a growing interest.
My personal view is that we make savings and investment fun and enjoyable. But the key to winning our customers' hearts is by knowing what they really want.
Absolutely.
How do we know what they want?
Well, now in the pandemic it doesn't happen so often, but I would say that normally we have focus groups every week here in Avanza where we test things on clients, we interview our clients, we try to get in-depth knowledge. Because the thing you have to remember is that most of our clients, even they're satisfied, they're interested, they're not that interested as you are, Nicklas. And that means that they need to be more inspired and more educated. We also have a very close ear to the rails when it comes to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, social media. And usually on Twitter you can see that when we launch something new, we usually get a lot of thumbs up and happy, this is great Avanza, but could you also do this? So I would say that our customers are almost as member of the family, and they are very driving us to innovation, and we know what they want. So it's more for us prioritizing in what sequence we should develop different things. So I would say the customers is always present here at Regeringsgatan, where we are standing right now.
That sounds very good. And soon the year is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Will we reach the goals for 2020?
Well, I think that actually in May, June, we reached the goals for 2020. And I think that's an interesting reflection you can do, because if we had stood here a year ago talking about, let's say, Nicklas, we will double the size of Avanza in income, we will double the trading volumes, we will have everybody working from home, and we will not miss any deadlines on our projects and our developments, and we will have pandemic so that we will not travel, not do anything. You would have said that you're just kidding, Rikard. That's not that's impossible for that to happen. So the impossible thing happened, and that means that you have to be very humble for the future. But at the same time, we can only focus on what we can control, and that's fantastic people in Avanza. Make sure they do good things that will enhance the client's experience of Avanza, and that will also make us successful in the future.
Mm. We reached the goals for 2020 in May, June.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we raise the targets going forward due to the strong performance during this year?
Well, we released our new targets for 2025 in January this year, LA 2020, when we disclosed our Q4 results. And me and Sofia Svavar, our investor relations head, I remember that day, because this is daring goals that we have set for the next 5 years, because we actually said then we're going to double the size of Avanza in 5 years. And of course, given the year that we had, we're way ahead of that schedule, so to speak, to 2025. At the same time, I don't want to draw too many conclusions for a year on 2020, but I absolutely convinced that we during 2021 will revisit our long-term goals and see if we have reason to even upgrade them a bit and make them even more daring.
Rikard, thank you very much for coming here and telling us more about Avanza.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you very much for listening to this.